This is the reading from Psalm 46. God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. Therefore we will not fear, though the earth should change, though the mountains shake in the heart of the sea. Though its waters roar and foam, though the mountains tremble with its tumult. There is a river whose streams make glad of the city of God, the holy habitation of the Most High. God is in the midst of the city, it shall not be moved. God will help when the morning dawns. The nations are in an uproar, the kingdoms totter. He utters his voice, the earth melts. The Lord of the hosts is with us, the God of Jacob is our refuge. Come behold the works of the Lord, see what desolations he has wrought on the earth. He makes wars cease to the end of the earth. He breaks the bow and shatters the spear. He burns the shields with fire. Be still and know I am God. I am exalted among the nations. I am exalted in the earth. The Lord of the hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our refuge.
It's appropriate for us to hear a psalm this morning. I often say we can think of the Bible as a library of books. A lot of people have the misconception that the Bible is this, novel that starts there's like a beginning, a middle, and an end. It's not like that. The Bible is a library of different books that illustrates the way people tried to express and articulate their relationship with the great mystery, the great presence of life, the beyond, in 100 different ways over hundreds of years through story and poetry and history and myth and song and truth-telling and all of that together, which is why it's sacred. And we reduce the profundity and significance of the biblical tradition when we ignore that. And so in this library of books, the Psalms is the music section. The Psalms were set to music. The Psalms of David were to be sung in the temple with all different kinds of musical instruments. When we look at the Psalms, we can imagine them sung in the setting of ecstatic dance and loud music and like a raucous concert. That was the original setting of the Psalms of David. And it would be a really good idea for us to not take the Psalms as an instruction book for life, like go out and do this. Because the Psalms express love, yearning, joy, ecstasy, and also anger, despair, heartbreak, rage, which is why some of the Psalms sound like a death metal song. So the Psalms express our heart's yearnings, and all of those yearnings are placed at the feet of the divine, the feet of the great mystery, the feet of the Spirit of life. And because they express our deepest yearnings, they were set and are set to music. And music, of course, expresses what words cannot. I want to tell a story about the strangest concert I was ever at. One time, John Cage, anyone know John Cage? Woo! Yeah, he's a pianist. And he said that he was going to be giving a free concert, and John Cage showed up and opened the back of a truck, and there was a piano there, and everyone's waiting for John Cage to play the piano because he is a very talented pianist. And then for 45 minutes, everyone just watched a piano. It was silent. And so, and that was the end. Beginning, middle, end, it was just silent. But I think John Cage was inviting us to listen. And if we were listening, we would have noticed the music that John Cage was inviting us all to hear. It's interesting that the psalm this morning speaks of songs and music, and also invites us to be still. Listening is the root, because if we're listening, we realize that we are part of the music, and we hear everything as music. We hear what Hildegard of Bingen talks about, how all creation is a song of praise to God. When I think of listening, I often tell the story about how Mother Teresa said, she was asked what she said when she prays, and she said, what she says to God when she prays. And she says, I don't say anything, I listen. And then the person asked her, well, what does God say? And she said, God doesn't say anything. God listens. Language is such a crude tool. When we have language and words, when we try to describe God in language and words, it separates everything. It divides us from each other and everything. But music unites. Music even has the power to become part of our bodies, to resonate with our bodies. Music is an expression of the oneness of everything. Our oneness with each other. Our oneness with the heart of God. This is why the psalmists talk about this river that makes glad the city of God. River, in the Bible, the river is often the metaphor of that spirit of life. Water and spirit are used practically interchangeably. And water can become so many different forms. It becomes rain, it becomes ice. We are like that. Music is like that. We together can think of ourselves as God's music. And when we make music together, we remember that. We remember our capacity to harmonize, to celebrate our oneness, to celebrate our connection, to celebrate our capacity to make beauty when we listen, when we make ourselves truly present to life. I think of another story about how Isaiah Barnwell. Has anyone ever heard Sweet Honey in the Rock? The a cappella group? Well, I couldn't believe that this woman, this powerhouse of a woman, stood in an audience of 1,000 people and she just said, "You over here do this." And then she said, "You over here, this section, make this noise." And just with 3 simple noises blending together, there was this incredible music. And so I want us to celebrate how we are all this music, and how to make music we have to listen deeply to each other, to listen to the world around us. And then when we do that, we're also like Rumi dancing through the marketplace when there was no music playing. Rumi, the Muslim mystic, would be seen dancing through the marketplace, and people would wonder what music he was dancing to. When we listen to each other, when we listen deeply to the world around us, we have that ecstatic joy with us all the time. We have this capacity to harmonize with the people and places around us all the time. One last music story I want to share. A place where I learned love for music was the House of Blues. And that was before it was a chain. This was when all the old musicians from New Orleans would still come up to Cambridge, Massachusetts and play in this place called the House of Blues. And there was only one House of Blues at the time in Cambridge, Massachusetts, before Aerosmith bought it. And above the stage, it had all the symbols of all the different world religions, and Satya Sai Baba, and a bunch of other gurus, and the Sacred Heart of Christ, and all these different symbols of the sacred, and on the stage, and it said, "Unity in diversity." Well, that is what only music can express. Only music can express how each one of us is a unique expression of spirit, and yet we're all one in the spirit. And so all music is sacred. And every one of us and all of us together are that sacred music. We have the capacity to, through music, express and celebrate the one and the many and the one. We have the capacity to celebrate and express our unity in diversity. And that's that river that makes glad the city of God. That's that spirit that we all are together. And so, enough said about music. Let's listen to some more. Amen.
Amen. In celebration of our Christian faith, we will partake of communion this morning, and in preparation for that, the choirs will be singing, "We Will Drink the Cup." But we're going to ask you to be part of the many that participate in that. So will you please find in your bulletin the sheet that says, "We will drink the cup." At the appropriate time, I will turn and ask you to sing this